Okay, well, thank you very much. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to each and every one of us. Dito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Ito po si Nico Fabian. And I'm going to give you ang mga latest updates regarding what is happening in the Philippines, especially on two issues po. One is the Super Typhoon Tino, which nag-landfall po sa Pilipinas yesterday. And grabe po, sabihin ko sa inyo, grabe na grabe po ang epekto ng Typhoon Tino. This is a very strong typhoon and kawawa ang mga Filipinos po, especially those affected by the severe typhoon po called Tino. Today, we're starting a day, medyo malungkot tayo. We are not happy because of what happened yesterday po dyan sa Pilipinas, especially in the areas affected by the typhoon. Particularly dyan po sa Cebu, sa probinsya ng Cebu po. Grabe. Later on, I'm going to show ang video clip report regarding ang damages sa Typhoon Tino. So far as what I was made to understand and what I officially received or informed that mayroon na daw po, there are already something like 48 fatalities. 48 na po namatay dyan po sa Typhoon Tino sa Pilipinas and dozens of missing people. And grabe po what happened, ang damage po, ang resulta ng Typhoon Tino. Malungkot tayo and once again I would like to request all my followers dito po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Let us continue to pray to our Almighty God for the safety of all the flood victims dyan po sa Pilipinas, particularly in Cebu province as well as nearby areas which has been badly affected by this typhoon. So far, this is the strongest typhoon that we experienced this year. And I was also made understand by the Weather Bureau dyan po sa Pilipinas this morning that there is another typhoon coming in. Although this typhoon Tino is expected to leave the Philippine area of responsibility by today, late today or tomorrow morning, but another one is coming. And let's hope that the new typhoon that will be coming will not be as strong as what we are experiencing now. And as what I said, I'm going to give you a video clip. Nandito na po, ready na yung video clip, and it is in English so that our Malaysian friends and other foreigners who would like to know what is happening in Typhoon Tino in the Philippines po, they will really understand. And maybe later on, I will try to get some footages in Tagalog version. So, ito po, this is what we call the domino effect of the flood control projects. Flood control projects scandal dyan po sa Pilipinas, of which until now po, nobody is telling us who are the people really involved dyan po sa anomalous scandal. Anomalous scandal. Because the Filipino wants to know sino-sino talaga, who are the mastermind. We don't mind. Although we really want to know also who are the small fish involved. But we also, we are very concerned to know who are the mastermind of this scandal. And of course, Filipinos like us dito po sa Malaysia, we also want to know and see these people involved in the scandal, to be behind bars as soon as possible. But it seems this is not really happening as of the moment. So I hope the government is listening to the voices of the masses, the voices of the Filipinos po, majority of the Filipinos. I hope that they will do something. In the meantime, sana lang po, we are calling again, not only our fellow countrymen in the Philippines, relatives and friends po, in whatever ways please, if you have extra, please extend helping hands to our kababayan or countrymen, no? Affected by Typhoon Tino po. No? Extend or donate anything that you can if you have extra po. To at least in a simple way or in whatever manner po we will able to extend or assist or lessen down ang predicaments ng mga victims natin po, no? To the Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, you don't worry much po, no? Kung mayroon tayo mga relatives dyan po sa mga affected areas sa Cebu and other areas po, no? Because I'm going to make sure po that from time to time, I'm going to feed you with the latest updates sa Typhoon Tino po sa Pilipinas. And at the same time, to my fellow countrymen in Malaysia, particularly in Sabah, I would like to remind all of us po, no, to be careful also po, especially those residing in river banks dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. Because at the moment, no, as I speak po, malakas pa rin, malakas din ang ulan dito sa Kota Kinabalu. And I hope and pray that this rain that we are experiencing now is a heavy downpour. It will not cause flash flood dito po sa Kota Kinabalu and areas in Sabah. Although the Malaysian Meteorological Department this morning and last night already warned people in Sabah and the entire Malaysia po that we are going to experience heavy downpour in some areas in Sabah, no? Particularly dyan po sa Kuala Peño, dyan po sa Beaufort, no? And of course, dito sa Kota Kinabalu, no? So, ingat lang tayo. Let's take extra precautionary measures. And in the event, no? In the event you want to go out, and if it is not necessary po, with this kind of heavy downpour that we are experiencing, kung pwede po, if not, if it is possible po, just cancel your trip first because we are experiencing heavy downpour dito po sa Kota Kinabalu, just for your own safety. And this reminder also goes to all our Malaysian friends, Sabahans dito po sa Sabah. So at least we will be safe. We have to take extra precautionary measures. At the same time, I would like to remind our or my fellow countrymen in Sabah as well as our Malaysian friends po, to make sure and monitor from time to time the whereabouts of our children, especially those who are still going to school today, kasi there is no such announcement as suspended ang classes dito po sa Sabah. So, ingat lang tayo while driving. Also, all the drivers in Sabah, please be careful po in driving and take extra precautionary measures when driving po, when driving, so that we will not encounter unfortunate or unnecessary problems sa road, sa road natin. Okay? So, let's start po. I'll give you some details about the latest updates dyan po sa Pilipinas regarding itong Typhoon Tino. Regarding this Typhoon Tino po, before I'm going to give you itong video clip that I have prepared for all of you. So, nandito po, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos continues to monitor the impact of Typhoon Tino and the government's ongoing disaster response as the storm affected more than 340,000 people across 1,397 villages or barangays in 7 regions. Affected po 7 regions in the Philippines. And the total number of affected people is as of this time is already 340,000 people across 1,397 villages or barangays in 7 regions. We were able to immediately conduct preemptive evacuation, and now there are more than 175,000 people temporarily staying in evacuation centers affected regions. Yun po, sabi ni President Ferdinand Marcos yesterday. This is a delayed news po, no? Although it was repeated today sa mga national televisions in Manila as well as dito po sa Malaysia. Marcos said in a statement read by Communication Undersecretary Claire Castro, the affected areas include, marinig, please listen carefully. The affected areas of Typhoon Tino include Mimapora, Bicol, Western Visayas, Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas, Caraga, and Negros Island region. The government assures continued action to accelerate the recovery of our countrymen. Stay alert and listen to the advice of your local officials, reminded BBM. Vice President Sara Duterte, on the other hand, said the Office of the Vice President, or OVP, is ready to assist and augment disaster response operation in areas affected by typhoon. In fact, it is already ongoing po ang assistance being extended by the Office of the Vice President, because this news was yesterday or last night. In a video message, Duterte said OVPs, or Office of the Vice President Disaster Operation Center, has been placed on standby to coordinate with local governments and provide needy support. She also reminded residents to prioritize safety, remain vigilant, and heed advisory from authorities, emphasizing that the safety and well-being of everyone remains the primary goal during this difficult time. Duterte also issued reminders for residents: stay indoors and stay away from windows and glasses doors. Prepare bags for evacuation and fill them with food, drinking water, flashlights, batteries, and the first aid kit. Unplug electrical appliances to avoid power surges and possible electrocution. Avoid going out of traveling until authorities declare our roads safe. Move to a higher ground if you live in areas prone to flooding. Be alert and listen to weather news and advisory from Pagasa. Help children, the elderly, and people with disabilities, Sara Duterte stated. Aside from President and Vice President, several lawmakers have also mobilized aid and monitor relief operation in storm-hit communities. Yan po, no? Everybody is on alert now, and I was also made to understand. I'm trying to figure out po kung saan talaga ito nangyari. I was made to understand isang helicopter dyan po from Davao en route to extend assistance to the flood victims dyan po sa Cebu. Nag-crash daw po, no? Nag-crash. Nag-crash. So, I was made to understand that the military authorities are now in the site to investigate ang incident po, ang incident. Crash or helicopter crash in that particular area. I will try to give you later on kung nasaan talaga yon po ang crash site ng helicopter, ng chopper po. Siguro po, because of the weather condition po, no? The helicopter or chopper crash. Kawawa nang po. I hope hindi ito magdagdag sa fatalities sa record ng Typhoon Tino. Typhoon Tino po. So, ingat talaga tayo po, no? At this situation, this kind of situation po, dapat we must be extra careful. Extra careful. If you think that the road submerged and there is a strong current po, please don't force yourself to cross the road. Mahirap na po. Ang mga tao naman sa pedestrian, if the road is submerged sa tubig, please do not cross the road po. Because we don't know po kung nasaan ang mga holes, no? So it is not safe for you. As much as possible, try to be at home only po. But unfortunately po, no, kung nakita natin or if you saw only all the footages and pictures dyan po sa social media, nakakaawa po ang mga tao po. No? You just imagine ang mga may-ari ng mga bahay po sa mga affected areas dyan po sa Cebu. They went on top of the roof for them to survive. So it means 1-story, 2-story buildings po, nalunod na po. Submerged under the water. And this is how serious is the flooding in the Philippines, particularly in the affected areas like Cebu province. Cebu province po. I feel very sad po. But in reality, this is what we get when I'm not blaming anybody now, but you cannot but blame me po for feeling this way po. This is exactly the result of greediness of our elected officials po, government officials po, who are involved in the flood control projects. Instead of building it properly, ang flood control projects natin po, they constructed ghost projects. They constructed itong substandard projects natin po. And as a result, this is it. This is what happened. In fact, nakita ko sa mga social media, no? People, the Filipinos are now questioning to the government. What happened to the billions of pesos allocated, ang pondo po, ang funds allocated for the flash flood control projects dyan po sa Cebu? What happened? See, this is the result now. People are suffering. People died. Properties damaged. And what do you think po? Our economy will be badly affected. Grabe na nga ang ekonomiya natin po, dagdagan pa po. Grabe na nga ang sabihin natin, presyo sa Pilipinas po, ang mga gulay, ang mga karne natin, vegetables, meats, chicken. Now with this kind of effect, result ng Typhoon Tino po, definitely there will be scarcity again of vegetables. There will be scarcity again of meat products. And once we experience scarcity of this thing po, as the law of supply and demand po, no? 100% po, tataas naman ang presyo. Kung magtaas naman ang presyo po, what will happen po? Mahirapan naman ang mga Filipino po to buy itong pagkain natin po. So this is exactly what is happening. Later on po, we'll be talking about these things. In the meantime, I would like to share with you po itong report that I prepared para sa inyong lahat po. So at least you can see, makita natin, you will see the damage caused by Typhoon Tino yesterday po, dyan po sa Pilipinas, especially in the province of Cebu and also other affected areas. So please watch itong report that I prepared for all of you. Para at least you will have an idea. Malungkot po, I'm very sad. I'm very sad to see this kind of video clip or reports po. But this is reality.
On November 4th, 2025, Cebu, one of the most populous islands in the Philippines, faced the devastating impact of Typhoon Tino, internationally known as Kalmayegi. This powerful tropical system brought winds of up to 205 kilometers per hour and dumped a month's worth of rain on the region in just 24 hours, leaving cities, towns, and rural areas largely submerged and displacing hundreds of thousands of people. The typhoon, which affected Cebu and its surroundings, was recorded as the 20th tropical cyclone to hit the country this year. According to a statement by the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, Tino's wind speed reached 150 kilometers per hour, exceeding 205 kilometers in sudden bursts. This speed not only knocked down power lines, but also knocked out telecommunication systems in many areas. The typhoon made landfall near the town of Borbon, north of Cebu, in the early hours of the morning, then moved towards western Visayas, causing widespread destruction in settlements such as Mandaue, Talisay, Danao, Liloan, and Consolacion. According to information in Pagasa's Tropical Cyclone Bulletin Number 13, storm force winds, heavy rainfall, and storm surges exceeding 3 meters were observed in the northern and central regions of Cebu affected by the typhoon. This posed a serious threat, particularly to communities living along the coastline. The Cebu City Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office was on alert starting Sunday. Teams deployed heavy equipment in high-risk areas, removed loose billboards, ordered marine vessels to be moved to safe areas, and equipped evacuation centers with generators, food, and emergency supplies. However, despite the precautions taken, the rapidly developing nature of the typhoon brought much greater destruction than expected. In Cebu City, where Tino's worst effects were felt, Bachayan Barangay was quickly submerged. Floodwaters uprooted vehicles and piled them on top of each other. Roads, bridges, and some neighborhood connections were completely cut off. The Villa del Rio area was one of the worst affected due to infrastructure collapse and sudden water rise. The collapse of a river bridge in the area blocked access for rescue vehicles and hampered the work of teams. The city's disaster response teams said operations would proceed slowly due to deep water levels and strong currents. Calls for help made via cell phones revealed that the number of families stranded on rooftops was increasing. Cebu City Disaster Risk Reduction. Council Chairman and City Council Member Dave Tumilag stated that winds battered the city between 3:45 a.m. and 7:30 a.m., during which time rescue teams were held at shopping malls for safety reasons, but were immediately dispatched to the field once the winds subsided. Tumilag said more than half of the city was underwater, and thousands of people were forced to leave their homes. The amount of rainfall brought by the typhoon was extraordinary. According to Pagasa records, 235.2 millimeters of rain fell in 24 hours in Maysin City in South Leyte alone. This amount exceeded the average for November, meaning that the rainfall expected for an entire month fell in a single day. The towns of Talisay, Mandaue, Liloan, and Consolacion, located around the Mactan Channel, were also completely submerged due to heavy downpours. A red alert level was issued for these areas. Road transportation was disrupted throughout Cebu. Power lines were down, communications were cut off, and dozens of neighborhoods were inaccessible.
Enfagrow A+ Mine Pro with expert recommended
Okay,
DHA level and MFGM Pro, the only brand with 8 brain-building nutrients, enhancing brain cell connections for higher intelligence.
The Cebu provincial government announced on its social media accounts at 9 a.m. that additional rescue teams had been sent to the cities of Talisay and Danao. It was reported that floodwaters rose to the second floors in Barangay Talamban and Bakayan, and half of some neighborhoods were completely swallowed by the river. According to information obtained from local residents, the water level suddenly rose at around 4:30 a.m. and reached the second floors of houses. This caused many residents to take refuge on their roofs. Rescue teams continued their work, particularly among the rubble of destroyed houses along the Bakayan River. The situation remains serious in the southern neighborhoods of Cebu, as well as in the northern parts. Residents in areas such as Bakayan, Villa del Rio, Talisay, and Minglanilla were directed to evacuation centers at the request of authorities. Officials urged residents to secure their belongings, stay away from floodwaters, and strictly follow the instructions of neighborhood officials. Typhoon Tino affected not only Cebu, but also South Leyte, Negros Occidental, Guimaras, and Panay Island. PAGISA confirmed that the typhoon made landfall in the Silago area of South Leyte, then moved through the cities of Borbon and Sagay, heading towards western Visayas. As of 11 a.m., Calmayegi had passed over Negros and Panay and was heading towards northern Palawan. It is expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility on Wednesday night or Thursday morning. In eastern Samar, strong winds blew off roofs on Homanhon Island, with approximately 300 homes reported damaged. Mayor Annalisa Gonzalez Kwan announced that there were no casualties despite the heavy winds and rain. However, the same region was being watched with great concern as it lay in the path of Typhoon Haiyan, locally known as Yolanda, one of the most violent storms in the country's history in 2013. Haiyan killed more than 7,300 people in the Gayawan area alone and devastated the central part of the country. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS, warned residents around Mount Canlaon in southern Cebu that the heavy rains accompanying the typhoon could trigger volcanic mudflows. This posed an additional risk, particularly for villagers living in mountainous areas. Approximately 150,000 people were evacuated across Cebu due to Typhoon Tino. Disaster response teams organized additional shipments of food, water, and medicine as crowds grew at evacuation centers. The government announced that search and rescue operations would continue throughout the day and would not be halted despite adverse weather conditions. PAGISA officials announced that the typhoon is expected to head towards the South China Sea as it moves westward, and that rainfall will continue in some areas of Visayas and Luzon before it leaves the country. They also emphasized that there is a high risk of landslides due to soil saturation after the storm. Although Tino was the 20th tropical cyclone to hit the Philippines in 2025, it was considered one of the most destructive storms of the year due to the breadth of the area it affected and the scale of the destruction it left behind. The system, with a wind band approximately 600 kilometers long, paralyzed Cebu and its surroundings in just hours. The people of Cebu were once again forced to test their resilience in the face of this new disaster brought by Tino. While authorities urged the public to be cautious, avoid unnecessary movement in risky areas, and follow new meteorological warnings, rescue teams accelerated their search for missing persons as the floodwaters receded. The Philippines, once again a nation battling the forces of nature, is preparing to erase the traces of this disaster through solidarity and resilience. We extend our deepest sympathies to the people of Cebu and all of the Philippines affected by Typhoon Tino. We hope that the wounds will heal as soon as possible, life will return to normal, and the people of Cebu will once again enjoy peaceful and secure days. While natural disasters affect lives around the world, we continue to report on these events accurately, reliably, and in an informative manner on our channel. Our goal is not to create fear or panic, but to raise awareness and transparently share what is happening in disaster areas. If you also want to follow natural disaster developments around the world,
Alright, yun po. Narinig natin po ang report, no? And nakita natin anong epekto ng Typhoon Tino, no? Typhoon Tino is the 20th or number 20 na po typhoon na dumating sa Pilipinas this year alone. And mayroon pa po darating mga iba-ibang mga typhoon pa hanggang end of the year. Yun po ang pattern. This is a typhoon season sa Pilipinas. So, ingat talaga tayo po. I feel very sad, malungkot ako po dahil tapos na ang undas. Now, we are preparing for Pasko po, Christmas. It's just a matter of how many weeks na lang po, and then we are going to celebrate Christmas in the Philippines. Not to mention the world, in the Philippines po. Christmas in the Philippines normally will start during the month of Bear. It means once you hear the word in the month of every year, my Bear, it means September, October, November, December. September signals the start of Christmas in the Philippines. But with this kind of disaster, calamity that many of our Filipinos po, brothers and sisters, experienced yesterday, and who knows, the number will increase. I feel very sad that it will be a blue Christmas for the victims of the flood. Kaya nga po, we will try to ease ang predicaments nila po, ang sufferings nila po. If we have extra, please donate generously po. And do not forget also to include them in our daily prayers. It is through prayers po that we will be able to also help them with the intervention of our Almighty God. So wag natin kalimutan. Hindi lang Cebu po, in other areas po, no? Apektado ang typhoon na ito po. Kagaya what I said earlier, aside from President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte, several lawmakers in the areas affected po are also mobilizing or has mobilized aid and monitored relief operations in storm-hit communities. In Eastern Samar, for example po, Representative Christopher Shin Gonzales and 4-piece Representative Marcelino Limbanan have launched a relief operation for families affected by Typhoon Tino, particularly in the isolated islands of Homonhon and Suluan, where most homes were damaged or destroyed. Sabi nila, we are working closely with the provincial and the municipal governments as well as national agencies. We are mobilizing supplies of food, drinking water, and hygiene kits to ensure that the immediate needs of our people are met, especially in hard-to-reach areas, sabi ni Representative Gonzales. Sa Leyte naman po, in Leyte, an evacuation center with the family rooms and breastfeeding areas has provided safe shelter for hundreds of evacuees in San Miguel, a model project initiated by former House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Tinoc Party List, and Mayor Norman Sabdao. As of Sunday evening, about 2,072 people have taken refuge in the hubs. We want our evacuees to feel safe, cared for, and treated humanly even in crisis, said Tingog Representative Jude Asidre. So, yun po. Yun po. They are also doing everything. Kailangan lang din yun po dahil alam na natin po, no? Dahil what they did, itong mga irresponsible lawmakers natin po, na corrupt sila po, and this is what is happening now po. Pero kulang pa yun po. They have to donate more. Sila talaga. Especially itong mga allegedly involved congressmen, no? O lawmakers natin po. Be it sa Senado ba o dyan sa Kongreso. Especially itong mga government officials natin involved in the scandal, no? You have to do double your work po to extend helping hands to the flood victims. To the flood victims po. Kasi mahirap na po. No? Mahirap na. I'll see if I can give you some, sabihin natin, footages in Tagalog. Tingnan natin muna, ha? Kung kaya natin ito makuha. Alright, sandali. Mayroon ba tayo dito? Everything is destroyed. Saan? Mayroon ba tayo dito? Pwede ba tayo? Okay, let's see kung makakuha natin ito.
Welcome back sa ating channel. Ito po yung ating drone shot. At itong bagyo po dito sa May Cebu na signal number 4. Yan po. Yan, pray for Cebu. Grabe, lubog po yung kanilang mga kabahayan po dito ngayon. Mga kababayan. At ingat po tayo lahat sa iba't ibang lugar. Pero itong ating drone shot ay kuha po natin po dito sa May Pampanga naman po. At hindi lang naman po sa May Cebu, sa iba't ibang lugar ay lalo na pag may mga bagyo. Ito yung sitwasyon naman dito sa May Masantolan, Macabebe, Pampanga. Ayan, no? Makikita niyo po yung kanilang lugar ay lubog din talaga. Ang isa sa mga problema dito, itong ilog nila ay open po kasi itong river nila. Kaya pag napuno yung river, automatic dito sa mga kabahayan ang tama ng tubig. Hindi kagaya dyan ngayon, ina-upgrade na po yung Marikina at Pasig. Yan, ang mga Japanese contractor ang gumagawa. Tinataasan nila mismo nila yung mga wall, tinitibayan nila. Kaya napakaganda na po na magiging inaharap na abot ng 100 years ang matibay ang pagkakagawa ng mga Japanese contractor. Sana dito rin po sa may Macabebe at Masantol ay makikita po ninyo, grabe rin po ang lubog. Kagaya sa nangyari ngayon sa Cebu ay lubog talaga. Ang mga kabahayan din po doon, may mga lugar doon. Pero dito ay pinapakita natin ito, kita niyo po yan. Okay, sana i-dredging po nila itong river, pero mas maganda ay taasan nila yung wall. Kasi makikita niyo po, ayan o. Ito yung river, nandiyan yung mga nakatirayan, automatic yan. Talagang pag umapaw talaga yan, lahat ng bahay po dito ay damay-damay na po yan. Lulubog talaga. Ayan ang sitwasyon talaga po dito sa may Pampanga.
So, yun po, ito po ang sitwasyon sa Pampanga. We're not only talking about Cebu, because this is also, the area sa Pampanga is also affected. And I was made to understand that Typhoon Tino has already, for the second time, landfall siya po sa Palawan. Ibig sabihin, si Typhoon Tino ngayon po nasa Palawan. This morning yan po, second landfall ng Typhoon Tino. Let's hope and pray po na we will not experience the same result po kagaya what happened dyan po sa Cebu. Okay, tingnan natin kung mayroon pa ba tayong iba pang alright, makukuha pa ba natin ito?
Ramdam na sa lalawigan ng Cebu ang bagsik ng Bagyong Tino at nagpapatuloy ngayon ang rescue operation sa mga natrap na residente. Yan ang ulat ni Jesse Atienza ng PCB.
Let's listen to this report.
Mag-aalala alas 5 ng madaling araw, dinayog ng malakas na hangin na may kasamang malakas na buhos na ulan ang lalawigan ng Cebu. Panandalian din na wala ng kuryente ang maraming lugar sa lalawigan, kabilang na ang Kapitolyo. Kinaumagahan, agad nagpadala ng mga rescue team ang PDRRMO ng lalawigan ng Cebu sa mga apektadong LGU.
First landfall in Camotes, Parents Island, when Borbon, then exited about 6 o'clock, as early as 6 o'clock in the morning.
Nakuna ng video ng isang netizen ang pagtangay ng tubig baha sa mga sasakyan sa isang subdivision sa barangay Bakayan ng Cebu City. Ayon kay Acting Vice Mayor Winston Petito, nahirapan din sa pag-responde ang mga disaster team dahil sa taas ng level ng tubig baha.
Nag-try sila o conduct of rescue operations. Pero marag minimal kayo atong mabuhat tungod sa rescue kayo sa atong mga rescue personnel po. Kaya naala din naabot na sa second floor sa mga balay ang baha diri karon. Kasi passable na ba ang atong bed diri na magyan ang nilapas na yun sa tulay.
Bakas naman ang pinsala ng Bagyong Tino sa iba't ibang bahagi ng lungsod ng Cebu. Sa dalawang setting, nakunan din ng video ang pagragasa ng tubig baha na nilamon na ang ibabang bahagi ng kabahayan. Sa Talisay City, malawak ang naging pinsala sa kabahayan matapos umapaw ang tubig mula sa Mananga River na siyang bumura sa mga bahay sa ilalim ng tulay. At kahit maputik na ang paligid, kanya-kanyang nagsalba naman ang kagamitan ng mga residente.
Ang inisyal na mong gibuhat karon is nagkuha lang sa numbers as far as houses, people affected, and rescue operations, especially ang rescue karon ang backpack sa sapa. Backpack sa sapa na pag high tide, ni sumbalik ang tubig, nilisod in areas na dili usually masugdan ng tubig.
Sa evacuation center, dumagsa naman ang mga apektadong residente. Kabilang na ang estudyante na si Sheila May na dala lamang ang kanilang alagang pusa at kakaunting damit.
First time po kasi namin maka-experience po namin yani na sitwasyon niya. Parang ito po ang lowest point namin kay wala po natira sa bahay namin, pati yung bahay po namin na nirerentahan kay nasira rin po. So parang di po namin alam kung saan kami pupunta.
Patuloy pang inaalam din ng Cebu Provincial Government ang iba pang mga luphang na apektuhang LGUs ng malawakang pinsala at baha na dulot ng Bagyong Tino.
Because from what we heard, Danao is also badly hit. Danao down, Obosala, Liluan, ang Kutkut River, no? Grabe kuno kayo ang Kutkut River. Consolacion, also, Mandaue, and Talisay. Ang atong mga within the city, no? Ang mga cities nato nga doon sa Cebu Central. So, mo anay mo ang monitor karon. So we are trying to call the mayors, no? So far ako na storya si Mayor Samsamra, muna nang ipadadaan na ng enforcement.
Sa ngayon, may 6 na naiulat na nasawi sa lalawigan ng Cebu. 5 riyan ay mula sa Danao City at 1 sa Mandaue City. May 2 katao rin ang naiulat na nasawi sa Talisay City, habang may 12 individual pa ang pinaghahanap sa Cebu City. Patuloy pa ang clearing operations sa mga kalsada papuntang Northern Cebu na dinaanan din ng Bagyong Tino. Mula sa PTV Cebu, Jessie Atienza para sa Pambansang TV sa Bagong Pilipinas.
Okay, yan po. Narinig natin ang report dyan po sa Cebu. And ganito ang sitwasyon sa Cebu. No? And ingat talaga tayo po. Let us be careful sa panahon ng ngayon. And of course, as what I said, kung pwede po, no? Kung pwede, let us, kung may extra man tayo po, huwag natin kalimutan to donate. Ano mang kailangan tayo i-donate po. Okay, tingnan natin ito, kahapon report, no? If you want to see. Ito po, tingnan natin.
Maraming ulan at matinding pagbaha ang resulta ng pananalasa ng Bagyong Tino sa ilang lugar sa Visayas.
Kabilang sa mga Labu-Labu, nalubog sa baha ang lungsod ng Cebu.
Nagkulangan po yung mga sasakyan dahil sa bahang yan sa Cebu City. Ang iba, tinatangay pa ng agos ng tubig. Rumaragasa rin ang kulay putik na baha sa tubig na sa ikalawang palapag o kaya nasa bubong na ang ilang residente. Baha na rin po sa ilang bahagi ng National Highway sa Mandaue City.
Sa iba pang bahagi ng lungsod, humarang na sa kalsada ang mga nabuwal na puno. Ayon sa National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, may isa nang napaulat na nasawi dahil sa bagyong Tino. For verification para nila ito. Sa tala naman ng NDRRMC, mahigit 7,000 pamilya ang nanatili sa mga evacuation center habang mahigit 3,000 pamilya naman ang lumikas sa iba pang lugar.
Ito'y pa rin ang pananalasa ng Bagyong Tino dito sa bayan ng Dumangas, Iloilo. Dito nga sa bayan ng Dumangas, Iloilo, ramdam ang malakas na hangin at ulan. Kasalukuyang nasa ilalim ng tropical wind signal number 4 ang Dumangas. Sa labas ng Dumangas Port, tanda ang mga truck ang stranded dahil sa kanselasyon ng biyahe ng mga Roro vessel simula pa kahapon. Marami sa mga truck ang pagbiyahe pa sana papuntang Dipolog City sa Mindanao, ngunit pansamantalang nakatenga muna sa highway papasok ng port. Nangangamba naman ang ilang mga driver sa kanilang supply ng pagkain dahil kung tatagal pa sila rito ay baka maubusan na daw sila ng supply. Marami sa mga residente naman, lalo na mula sa mga low-lying, flood-prone at coastal area sa probinsya ng Iloilo ang nagsilikas na papunta sa mga evacuation center upang masiguro ang kanilang kaligtasan. Sa ngayon nga, Connie, naka-full alert status na ang local government unit ng Dumangas, pati na rin ang ibang mga LGU sa probinsya ng Iloilo. Sa mga oras na ito, Connie, ay malakas pa rin ang hangin at ilang mga sanganga sa puno dito sa plaza ng bayan ng Dumangas ay nagsibagsakan at ilang mga sasakyan ang na-damage. Ayon naman sa Pag-asa Iloilo, inaasahang tatagal pa ng ilang oras ang pananalasa ng Bagyong Tino dito sa probinsya ng Iloilo. Yan ang likas mula dito sa Iloilo Province. Balik sa inyo.
Yan na po. That's the reports dyan po sa Iloilo. Kahapon itong news dito ngayon.
Una ay sa Silango Southern Leyte, kanina alas 12 ng hating gabi. Ikalawa ay sa Borbon, Cebu, pasado alas.
So yan po. That is the situation ngayon. Dyan po sa Pilipinas, si Typhoon Tino is already in Palawan. And nakita natin po paano ang damage na caused by Typhoon Tino. Typhoon Tino po. So, grabe. Yesterday, during my programming, I was saying and hoping na sana lang po ito si Typhoon Tino will not be that strong and hindi malaking epekto po sa buhay ng mga Filipino. But ganito nangyari po. No? 48 reported fatalities, dozens are still missing po. 7 regions affected dito po sa Typhoon Tino. And another typhoon is coming in. But the Typhoon Tino is expected to leave ang Philippine area of responsibility either by tonight or early morning tomorrow po. Sa ngayon, si Typhoon Tino nasa Palawan na po. Nasa Palawan na. On the way para sa labas na po. No? And I will continue to monitor po kung how strong is this incoming typhoon, anong pangalan niya po, and kung ano man mga latest updates, I will make sure po that kayo, mga followers ko po, will be properly informed. Siguro, in the meantime po, once again, I would like to say to all my fellow countrymen dyan po sa Pilipinas, mga kababayan, ingat tayong lahat. Magdasal lang tayo sa Panginoon and let's do our part. Sa gobyerno naman, I would like to remind them that please do not delay any, sabihin natin, assistance to be extended to the flood victims po. And those who are working very hard po, making sure that whatever assistance are needed coming from the private sector, from the government po, ingat kayo po because as what I heard and it was reported po, mayroon isang helicopter from Davao na crash po while they were on the way to bring assistance sa Cebu. Sa Cebu ba yan? So ingat talaga po in everything we do para safe tayo and hindi na magdagdag ang problema natin. Sa gobyerno naman natin po, I would like to especially itong those who are investigating itong flood control project sa Pilipinas po, siguro kailangan din po i-investigate itong flood control projects dyan po sa Cebu. Sa Cebu po. no? Because I think 26 billion, 25 billion or 26 billion worth of flood control projects na allocate dyan po sa Cebu. And despite of a very huge amount, nandito po, you see what happened. You see what happened po. Sana lang mga those involved sa scandal, no? Makonsensya naman kayo. Makonsensya naman kayo po, no? Dahil sa inyo, a lot of Filipinos are suffering. To all overseas Filipino workers, magdasal tayo po para sa mga kamag-anak natin, loved ones natin po sa Pilipinas, and magdasal tayo para sa bayan natin. Sa bayan natin. So siguro in the meantime, nandito na lang ang programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And once again, si Nico would like to say, masking paano po, I hope I managed to give you ang mga notisya or news that you really deserve to know. Ngayon po, on this very day, morning ng Wednesday po. And masking paano, in the past minutes ago or almost an hour, sana lang po I managed, masking paano po I managed to entertain ba or cheer ang buhay natin po, ninyo po, no? Despite that we are facing these very, very big problems, not only loss of taxpayers' money, but ang effect ng Typhoon Tino. So with this, once again, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. I'll see you in my next episode. Malaysia, Sabah, Philippines, God bless us all. Ingat kayo, God bless you, and I love you. Bye.